Hey, welcome everybody. We're back, and we're gonna do a first look on the main slate. I've kind of just looked over the top few spots real quick, just to put a poll question up. I haven't given it any thought yet. Uh, I did a couple of the Thanksgiving Day stuff. I think it's a good slate. I just think that it's not something I want to put a whole bunch of money into. I would rather on a so my thought is on a week that all of the content is focused around the Thanksgiving stuff and everybody being very focused on it right now, and then family coming in. I think we could see a Sunday slate that is a little I think there'll be less it'll be more chalk picks, and if the scrolls will be less, I could see there being a lot more auto drafting. That doesn't mean that autos can definitely get there, but it kind of feels like it'll be a deep week. We have a full slate of games. Yes, we have three tomorrow and one on Friday, but we're gonna have 12 games on Sunday, or 11 games on Sunday on the main slate. I think there's a few decent games on it, and I think the edge could be to focus mostly on that and to look less at the Thanksgiving stuff. Also, the Thanksgiving stuff tomorrow, during the games tomorrow, there will be people doing these contests. They'll be drafting Battle Royale, stuff like that. People will probably do a lot more auto draft picks in that time. They'll be with their family, doing other things. And I think that people are going to miss picks, build worse teams. I think it might be overall a slightly easier slate. So I'm going to actually focus a little more on the main slate. Not that I don't like the Thursday slate. I do think it's a really good Thursday. It's a better Thursday slate than they had last year. The rake-free contest is gone, so I have no more interest. I got 17 in. I feel pretty good about the 17 I did. I made a stand on tight ends for the Ravens, basically, and just kind of built things around that. Let's say hi to the chat. We have Peppertoni here. We have Scott. We have Schuster. Did a big turkey. Mahomes, Hunt, Rice, Pickens, Flowers, Gesicki. I like Gesicki a lot. I liked Hunt a lot until Pacheco is playing. I still think that Hunt is the play from that game. If you're going to go double wide receiver early and you don't get a fall on Chase Brown, and I don't think the Chase Brown fall happens anymore, I think that Hunt, you could argue, goes ahead of the rest of them. And what's up, Jamie? How are we doing? Just so you know, I listened to a little bit of Mushroom Head this morning. I hadn't heard of had heard of them, hadn't heard their music. I thought maybe if I heard some songs, I would know them. I didn't. I like it. It would be good for the project. That pacing of music would be very good. I think that's a really good shout on that. I did not. Number one, because I only did the few drafts. But number two, mac and cheese is disgusting. So I will leave you with that. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on why I want to focus a little more on the Thursday slate, or on the Sunday slate than the Thursday slate. I think that I just think we're going to have sloppier drafts all weekend. You're going to have a lot more people, people are going to be fitting the drafts into less time. If we look at the slates, though, they are a lot shallower. The Wildcat is 18,000 instead of 30,000. The BR is 32,000 instead of 38,000. We don't have the Engage 8 or any of that. If these fill, I think we'll see some of it. But I'm probably going to end up maxing the hurry up. I hadn't been doing the fullback dive, but I think I'm going to do the fullback dive this week. I'll do 20 or so Wildcats and 2 or 3 Battle Royales. What's up, Emo? How we doing? Yeah, there was definitely a gigantic dispersity. And whenever you did, whenever the female vocalist came in, it was a different feel as well, which I don't mind. Like, I'm not, nothing bad there. Like, it's just a different pacing of the songs whenever she was singing versus when the guy was singing. Whenever they both were involved, I think it was a really good combination. Who haves? It's time to draft another one. Yeah, so hey, that's that's awesome. I appreciate it. I definitely look forward to it. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the running backs. So the way I'm going to start doing this, and I'm doing timestamps, so give me a second. So I'm going to start, whenever I do weekly ranking, like the weekly shows on this stuff, I think going to quarterback last makes the most sense. It's because you talk through the games here, you talk through the wide receivers you like, and for the most part, quarterback, you're just like correlating late and stuff, right? So getting through the running back, which is the most important position to get right, is pivotal. And then you go through the 2 pass catching options, and then that kind of leans you towards which quarterbacks are good. And then you can kind of go through the quarterbacks pretty quickly. And because mostly you're going to correlate, but some of them are a lot better at not non-stacks than others, and scroll down options, stuff like that. So I think I'm always going to start with running backs, unlike most places. So we're going to do that. Okay. Nice. I mean, that don't sound bad. So this has changed since, I literally just looked at the ranks a little bit ago, and CMC was 1, and Jonathan Taylor was 2, Achane was 3, and Bijan was 4. The poll question, if anybody did vote, we got 4 votes, we got 10 viewers. It is, which one of these 4 should be the 101? I am definitely not CMC this week. I know he's going to get the volume. I know all that, but Cleveland has been awesome against running backs. They've just been really, really good against running backs. They've been really good against quarterbacks. San Francisco has been hurt on defense. We know that the Browns want to run the ball. I think the Browns are going to run with Judkins a bunch. I think that this will be a slower paced game. That's the way I'm going to play. I'm not going to full fade CMC, but I will do a slight fade. Whatever his ADP is, I'll take him there at half the time. My goal is to get 8% of him. I kind of like Achane and Bijan over these 2. I personally think it's hard to not like Jonathan Taylor, right? It's very hard not to like him. I'm going to look this up. I'm doing all of this on the fly, so I don't know if they've played the Texans yet this week or this year. They have not. But if we go to the fantasy points and we look at running back and who is good against running backs and who is not good against running backs, and half point PPR, the Texans are awesome against pass defense, but they're a little worse against rush defense, but they're still good, right? They're still the 10th best in the league, or 11th best. And then we got the Saints are 16th. That's where Achane is. And then the Jets are the 10th worst, or the 10th best matchup. And that's Bijan without Drake London. He is doubtful. Highly doubt that he plays. Weather in Cleveland is snow. I hadn't actually looked at the weather yet. Let me actually have that over here. That's actually a good shout to kind of go through all the games real quick on the weather. So Cleveland, San Francisco, supposed to be 34 degrees with chances of rain, 16-mile-an-hour wind, south-southwest. This is weather 3 days in advance, or 4. I will check that real quick. Number one, Kai, are you listening through earpods? I've heard that if you listen through earpods, it sounds louder. So I did lower it though some. Let me know if that's the case or if it was just loud. Go Buckeyes, says King Schuster. I don't claim to be a Buckeyes fan anymore because I don't watch enough college football to claim to be a fan of anything. But whenever I did, I was a Buckeyes fan. Tennessee, 47% chance to rain, 45 degrees. Indianapolis, dome. Saints at Dolphins, 74 with a 20% chance of showers. Falcons, Jets, same. It's 38 degrees with a 20% chance of showers. Bucks, looks good. Panthers, looks good. So the Rams are traveling across the country to play the Panthers. That's interesting. The Vikings at Seahawks, 47, slight chance of rain, no wind on either the Panthers or the Seahawks game. The Bills, Steelers, looks like it should definitely rain. It's like over 50% and cold. And the Chargers are in a dome. So that's the weather stuff. So with that in mind, the CMC Judkins stuff could be a lot more interesting. But, man, we have a lot of really, really good RBs this week. And whenever I glanced at it, I noticed that. And noticing, and that's kind of why I want to put a little bit more work in this week instead of the Thanksgiving slate on this main slate. Because I think there's a very high chance that a scroll down is going to be what you need. And if more people are auto-picking because they're doing family events and trying to draft at the same time, I think that there is going to be an edge this year or this week. So if I were to rate it, I don't know, I kind of like it like this, but you can't do this and get any JT and McCaffrey. I definitely want 12% JT, 12 to 15% JT near the field. And I think JT is just the one I want. I believe they're going to be ahead of Houston. If you beat Houston anyway, it is through the run game. The Colts just lost a game. They're going to be indoors again. Daniel Jones has been a lot better indoors. So I do think that JT should be one. And then if we go back to the fantasy points stuff, the Browns are actually gotten a lot worse against run defense than they were to start the year. So I think this is how I love Bijan, but it scares me without London there, right? And they're going to split the workload with Algier. So this is personally how I'm going to rank it. It'll be JT, Achane, CMC, and Bijan. No is the answer there. Bijan, I think it's very close all the way around. I think all four of these all have a really good case to be the one of them. All four of them. But when in doubt, number one, JT and CMC, so JT, CMC, and Achan are 1, 2, and 3 running backs this year, fantasy point wise, right? That might have going into last week. Last week might have changed it with Gibbs, but they are like on this slate. They are definitely the top for the year. But JT has the highest implied point total with 24 for them. I believe that's the highest. So Miami has 24 as well. San Francisco has 20, and Atlanta has 21. So these two have the highest implied point total. CMC is going to get every touch, though. I get a feeling that game's going to be very ugly and sloppy, but I definitely don't want zero CMC. So I'm going to do like a 10 to 12% on CMC and kind of try to get at the field or a little over on the other guys. Whenever you go down the list a little more, James Cook to me is very, very interesting. I think you could argue that he goes up into this group as well. I was sharing the wrong tab. But the Steelers are actually good against the run, but that's mostly because they're so bad against the pass, right? I don't know what you mean. What about him? I have not seen anything on him, so I'm not sure. But yeah, like James Cook, the matchup doesn't look great, but the Bills, when they need to win, they run the ball a lot. They need to win this game. Pittsburgh is also in the wild card hunt. The Bills are a wild card team right now. They need to shut this door. They've been kind of screwing around. They know they're the better team. Weather shouldn't really affect them. They can do everything okay. And Josh Allen is awesome. And Josh Allen actually has a very, very good matchup. But I definitely don't want to be underweight James Cook, but I don't want to be overweight either. The matchup's not perfect, but he definitely could be the guy to get 28 points, 29 points. Weather kind of sucks here. At what price should I just go to Lion/Pack? People must not want to drive, and it's selling tickets cheap. Oh, really? I mean, depends on how much you like your family, right? If you love your family, you probably should not go. If you love football and not your family, maybe you should go. That's my take. It's Pepper Tony's got the right answer. Yeah, so remember the playoff game where Mahomes cracked his helmet, that Miami game? It's like a 6-hour drive, but it was so cold, nobody wanted to go. They were selling those playoff tickets for like $12. Like you could have got a playoff game in KC for $12. I didn't feel like driving over there though. I had to take 2 days off work and drive all the way over there through an ice storm. But it was $12. I seen tickets for $12. They weren't good tickets, but $12. The Devonta question was because he had back-to-back DNPs, but it seems to be more endless. Okay. All right. I hadn't seen anything. Thank you, Coolers, for doing that as well. So, like James Cook, I think you want to just kind of get your shares of. Kyron against Carolina could be an absolute smash spot. And Dowdle against the Rams, I'm probably going to slightly fade this. I know it's cross country, but the Rams, it didn't seem to bother them to go all the way over to London. So I don't know that going over here is going to matter to Carolina. The Rams are probably the best team in the league right now. The Panthers, for whatever reason, refused to rush the ball last week, although that is what they're good at. Uh, so like I think you obviously don't want Kyron and Rico together. With like Achan, I think you could, if you were into Devin Neal, like I think you could argue Neal and Achan kind of you could go together. Like I did Gibbs and Tracy last week because both of them are really good at receiving. So like whichever one was behind, the other one had a chance. If they're both just not really receiving, but like known for receiving, it's a lot harder to get there. Ashton Genty, I think, is in a pretty solid spot as well. I know that their offensive line sucks. I know they fired Chip Kelly. They only have an implied point total of 15.5. They're supposed to lose by 9.5. And the Rams are supposed to get 27.3. They're favored by 10 points. So I think I like him next. So I actually like I like Brees Hall a little. Not a lot, but a little bit. I wish we had an actual answer between these two, right? This situation feels really, really good. I'm going to take some dart throws on both. I will if Jalen Warren ends up being drafted nearly 100%, I'll probably end up his ADP 26. He'll probably be drafted a lot. I will probably leverage off of that and go 4% Jalen and 7% Gainwell, something like that. If his ADP stays where it is. Oh, I'm in the 12-man slate. So what is it in the 12-man? So it's about the same. Where's Gainwell here? So 35.9, which is what you would expect there. So this is what we had with. So they actually, you already see a difference. Genty isn't here. He was there on the other one. And Rico Dowdle was pushed way down, right? That's kind of what I think should happen here. I kind of like Judkins a lot this week again. The weather plus San Francisco's defense not being great. Judkins had another solid week last week. Shadur actually had the Browns offense looking a little better. I'm not saying that Shadur was fantastic. But he would throw the ball downfield well enough to keep everybody out of the box. And if he can do that again, I know the weather probably isn't going to be conducive to that. Judkins could be a very good play. I don't know exactly where I like him. I mean, ETN versus Tennessee seems like an absolute smash, though. I think you could argue. What does chat think? Do you think we should take? Where's ETN? Is he above Kyron? I kind of think ETN goes up above Kyron here. I think that's what I like. They said that Bucky might play, but he will be limited. I think he's definitely going to play, but he's going to be limited. So I'm fine just full fading Bucky. If it beats me, it beats me. Yeah. I got Browns tickets next week to Titans. They were $11. Still way overpriced. Are you a Browns fan? I assume. I would assume that they go up slightly with Shador. Kyron 11 and ETN at 12. Is that for full week, including all the games, I assume? Or is that for the BR slate? I haven't actually looked at this slate yet, so that would make sense on a full, the full week, yeah. That would actually make about a lot of sense. The Jalen Warren situation is a little weird. I think I prefer Judkins here, and basically all of these I want to mix in, right? Like all the players, all like down to Kyron, I think should go every draft, and then everybody after that are like just the plays I think you should mix in, right? So I think ETN should go pretty much every draft as well. Kamara probably not playing. Um, Devin Neal had 5 receptions last week, and he only played part of the game. Tyler Shuck has been a reasonable quarterback. They are implied for 18.5 points. That's not a lot, but it's fine. I think he is very draftable. Gainwell, I think, is draftable as a scroll. Aaron Jones against Seattle being undrafted basically is like a mix in at 2% clip guy. Dowdle definitely goes up here as well. I think between like Judkins, Genty, Dowdle, Brees, Jalen, Walker, you should mix all of these guys in. If you like one a little more, like I probably will have a little more Judkins and Genty than the rest of them, but like let's say 6% on those two each, and then like 4 to 5% of the other ones. And if you want to mix in a share or two, like if you get a combo you've had before, and you're not sure what running back you got, or it's like you have chalk pairings at the at 1 and the 2-3, and you want to try to get unique somehow, I think you could like going down to Kenneth Gainwell makes a lot of sense to me. I would have, if we knew that Jalen Warren would get a bigger snap share than Kenneth Gainwell, I would have him first up here. But we're not sure of that. So this is what I think Gainwell, Devin Neal, and Aaron Jones are players that you can mix in at a low percentage. If you want to do Tony Pollard, you could do that as well. I'm going to sit this week out on Hampton, even if he comes back. He's cleared for practice. But even if he comes back, I don't see them rushing him into a gigantic workload. I'm personally going to full fade it. I might be like, if we know Bucky's not going to take 100% of his snaps, so I'm willing to risk the full fade on that, even though it's an awesome matchup. Sean Tucker and Rachaad White have both done well. Like Rachaad White, everybody hates, but he's been fine, right? Like he's done what Rachaad White is expected to do. He's just not explosive. I don't think they're going to risk them being in a position to still get a playoff seed. I don't think they want to risk him for a potential playoff run with him having all the issues and coming back. So if you want to mix him in, you feel free to. The matchup is awesome, but they have already stated they're going to use him limited. And I'm personally not going to chase that. And they said the same thing last week with Chris Godwin. And you know what? Chris Godwin was absolutely limited. So I'm going to believe them since they just last week showed us that when they say that, they mean that. On to the wide receivers. We have JSN against Minnesota, Puka against Carolina, Devontae Adams against Carolina. You don't think it feels like a scrolly RB slate? Well, let's go back to it. I think it kind of does because, like, let's look at it. CMC, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, we'll just put them in here, right? Like, you're telling me that those guys, like, because that's like 14, right? There's 13 of them, and we're not too, if you want to get like a Kenneth Gainwell in there, so that's 14. And you could argue for Aaron Jones or like Woody Marks wasn't even mentioned. He's all the way down here. And I don't actually hate the Woody Marks thing. Um, when Olave is your wide receiver four, it's a top heavy running back slate. But I think that all of these are draftable, right? I do think that there's a cliff here after ETN, right? So after the top 7, I think there's a little bit of a cliff, and I think you can argue a lot between like Warren, Brees Hall, Genty, Judkins, Dowdle, Kenneth Walker, Gainwell, and Marks. Like, it's not unreasonable to think that Kenneth Walker outscores, that he gets 23 points, right? If he gets the normal work volume, but also breaks a 60-yarder, that's getting him to that point, right? I can't quit Kenneth Walker, nor do I want to. Yeah, so like you add a 60-yard, like a 50-yard touchdown to this, right? Like, which he's very, very capable of doing. He smashes, right? Same with like that 18.6 can absolutely get you there. I got there with a 14.50 touchdown game from Tyrone Tracy. How did we get to this, Peppertoni? But I'm just saying, like, I can see, like, Houston's defense is awesome. You could see JT getting, like, not having a great week. You could see Cleveland kind of shutting down McCaffrey. You could see ways that all of these fail. I don't think it's going to happen, but you can build a case to where a lot of these fail. And if that happens, let's say that Jonathan Taylor gets 18 points, 19 points, and Bijan gets 21. I can make an argument that Genty plus Judkins is what you need, right? Like, do I want to build my whole portfolio that way? No. Like, do I want, like, if I do 50 teams, I probably want like 7 or 8 teams like that. I don't want a bunch of them. I just want a couple. I do think that there's a big gap between CMC, Taylor, HN, Bijan, like, to the rest. And I think there's also a small tier here between Cook, Kyron, and Travis Etienne. So I do think that there are big tiers here. And I would love to get 2 of those 7, right? And after those 7, I do think it's a scrolly slate. But I can build a case that all of them would get 20 points. Well, yeah. Well, maybe I'm doing it wrong too, right? Like, I mean, Judkins is 34. Dowdle is 34.6. Kenneth Walker is 35.1. Like, Kenneth Gainwell 35.9. So, like, I think that, like, those are considered scrolls. Like, to me, anything under like 30, 33 and a half or so is basically a scroll. Yeah, so, and the reason those ADPs are so low, and like whenever you have like a top 7 that's that good, and the community thinks that Jaylen Warren should be picked every draft because he has an ADP of 26.3. So if you have 8 running backs that's drafted every single draft, that means only 2 other running backs are being taken from Brees Hall on. Which, that, if that's happening, that means that Kenneth Walker is going to be essentially a scroll since he's like 5 down from that, right? It's like, if you just look at the top 10, that takes you down to Brees Hall. I don't think Bucky will be there, so that takes you down to Genty. So then, like, Dowdle, Judkins, Walker, anybody after that, Gainwell, I'm mildly interested in. So, 26 is 80%. Okay. Well, yeah, like, but even at that, like, that's 3 of those 5 being drafted, assuming there's not a 3 wide receiver team, right? I haven't looked through this, so I don't know if 3 wide receiver looks good this week. All right, so wide receivers. It's hard to not just put JSN one every week now. Like, he keeps doing it no matter what. Early in the season it was Puka, but like, it's just JSN every week, right? Like, how do you argue that it's not just JSN every single week at 101? Seattle, 26.5 implied point total. They are home against a team that's been reeling in Minnesota. Last week, I was scared that they would be so far ahead of the Titans that they stopped throwing. They never cared. They just kept throwing. So I'm going to alter, and I'm just going to take JSN at 17% at whatever ADP they want me to go to. And it is a Sam Darnold revenge game. You got to remember that. Minnesota said, you know what's better than you, Sam Darnold? 9. 9 is better than you. And this is the game that he's going to go in there and prove to them that 9, I think they know 9 is not better. But this is Sam Darnold's chance to prove that 9 is not better, right? It's kind of wild that wide receiver 2 and 3 are both Rams. And which means to me, like Kyron 80. So you have 3 Rams in top 16 ADP, right? So you're going to see a lot of probably double stack Ram stuff. It's very easy to see one of them getting there. Let's go look at fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. We went through the running backs a little bit ago. So Cowboys 1, Steelers, Commanders. Like, this is the worst. The best matchups. Cowboys best, then Steelers, Commanders, Titans, Giants. Why'd that move around? Okay. Raiders, Lions, Bears, Ravens, Colts, Bucks. So where are the Panthers? The Panthers are down here. Like, the Panthers are actually good against the pass. Did I not hit apply? Maybe I didn't hit apply. No, I sure hit apply. So, yeah. Against fantasy points, they're giving up 21 fantasy points a game to opposing wide receiver rooms. That is one of the better ones in the league. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to just flat stop the Rams, right? But with, like, I don't know that I want to be, if both of them are going, I'm actually kind of into Kyron a little bit in this game, which makes me a little less into Puka and Devontae. I still want to be like 12% or so. I think it just kind of enforces that JSN is the better pick, right? Like, JSN to me is the clear 101, like 101 at receiver in this week. Olave is wide receiver 4, which that is not a great feel. He has got a lot of volume. He got 13 targets last week, 9 receptions, 11.5 points with no touchdown. I like Olave, but him being wide receiver 4 doesn't feel good. Yeah, and JC Horn might still be in protocol. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the junk punch. That's a good call. Like, yeah, if JC Horn is out, it is actually probably a smash Rams game. So I think the Rams are going to smash. No offense, best ball on call, but I think that the Rams are probably going to smash the Panthers in this game. Drake London, it says Q here. I was going to say, I read that he was doubtful. That's what that says. They just haven't updated it. So McConkey versus the Raiders. and Waddle versus the Saints and Nico. Like, to me, all of those plays are better than the Olave play. It was Morig Nut Punch. Morig Nut Punch. Got it. But yeah, to me, I mean, they're all basically the same. I'm gonna mix them in, but I definitely like Olave the least out of these. Nico has been heating up, but Ladd, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like this is the way I want to rate it. Waddle has been an absolute beast since Tyreek has been gone. So I think I like him. Nico has the elite upside that we haven't seen it yet this year, but their offense has started to work a little better. Indy's defense isn't great on the back end. I think that Houston could definitely get there in their passing game. Egbuka, Michael Wilson, Justin Jefferson, McMillan, Shakir. This gets ugly. I'm going to run out on Mooney, Kirk Cousins sack again. I don't blame you. Rams cover all day. Bryce won't handle that. D, kind of like my girlfriend tonight. Got it. Thanks for the relationship insight there, Anthony. We appreciate it. Davis Mill can see over the line easier because he has a long neck. He says Pepper Tony. I've had that thought. We could also use situations in these matchups, especially without Horn or McVay. Just let Stafford rip it for MVP votes. Yeah. No, like, I'd forgot that Horn was going to be out. That's on me. I think that it's definitely those three up top. I don't like Olave at 4, but I think that I'm probably going to draft it this way. Nico here, then Waddle, then Olave, and then McConkey. But I'm mostly going to have, like, probably a slightly overweight on Nico and then slightly underweight on the other three. Maybe at weight on Nico and then mix darts in later. Probably be like 15 to 17% on Nico and like 13% on the rest of them. Something like that. Carolina O. It really was. It was, well, like, in the first quarter, we knew it was going to happen whenever Bryce Young rolled out and chose to throw an interception instead of running the ball in the end zone. Like, he actively looked at the end zone and said, nah, I want to throw an INT. Right? Like, come on, guy. He just waved it. He's like, nah, I got this. And then proceeded to throw an interception. It was a work of an absolute tactician. So I think Marv should be back this week, but it's not officially limited in the return, but it's not guaranteed. If he does come back, he's probably not going to be 100%. Michael Wilson has a connection there. I don't actually see it affecting too much. But I do like Egbuka in this game a lot. I know he's done it the last 2 weeks, but Bucky will be back in limited fashion. Godwin's going to have a slightly increased workload. I think that will massively help Egbuka. I think that a lot of people will be a little out on Egbuka, and I kind of like him this week. I will definitely be mixing him in quite a bit. Like, I'll probably end up with a little bit more Egbuka than McConkey and Olave, I would say. I don't want to be overweight because I think this is a week that at wide receiver you just kind of want to take a couple shots maybe. But it looks ugly down here. It looks really ugly. So Michael Wilson seems fine. Max Brosmer. So JJ McCarthy isn't officially ruled out yet. He may play. If he does play, I'll take 0 Justin Jefferson. If he doesn't play, I will probably mix him in a small amount. Wild to say, Max Brosmer probably the better play there. If Brosmer is quarterback, Addison could be the real sneaky play. Yes, no, you are absolutely correct about that. I say this is someone who loved Igbuka film, but it feels like without a primary X access, he's getting hand checked. Yeah, he is, but that's why I like him a lot more this week if Godwin is a full go, right? Like, I am expecting Godwin to have a lot more of the route share this week, and I think that only helps Igbuka because Igbuka hasn't been near as good. He had the one very, very good game. Again, like I think it was before that, right? It was he had one absolute monster game with when everybody was hurt. Let me look it up. It might have no, it was the game that he got hurt in, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I believe week 5 was the game that Godwin came back and got hurt, and Igbuka had 31 full PPR points in that game. He had 2 red zone targets, 1 touchdown, 163 yards in the air, 7 receptions. But that game, the defense wasn't allowed to game plan for him as a wide receiver 1. So, and it was all kind of moving parts at the end of the game. So, I think with Godwin back, Igbuka could be a really sneaky play. It's hard to not like Michael Wilson somewhat, right? Like I think you have to mix him in. You just have to mix him in. McMillan, same way. We expect the Rams to dominate this game. We expect them to be behind the whole game. I don't know what his ceiling really is against the Rams because the Rams' pass defense is really good. Their rush is awesome. And Bryce Young probably going to collapse really hard in this game. But I don't want 0. I will, like with the ADP of 31, like he'll be a guy I mix in 4 to 5% on. Khalil Shakir is actually interesting to me this week. I know you say he doesn't have a ceiling, the 17 points, but looking at this wide receiver slate, it feels very possible that 20 points gets you there, right? And if it's a slate where 20 points might be able to get you there, that makes Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman, a lot more interesting in my eyes. Right, like if I think that a 20-point score could get there, I'm definitely more interested in them. Pittsburgh is also one of the worst in the league against the pass. So if we go back over here, Steelers, second worst against fantasy wide receivers in the league. I'm going to take him a little bit without Josh Allen. I think most people will be taking him with Josh Allen. I think the move to pivot is to pivot off of him with Josh Allen. Not that I'm saying to not take any Josh Allen plus Shakir shares, but I could definitely see with this slate, like Jalen Waddle, 81-1, 16.9 was actually a solid score that week, I believe. And Shakir could easily do that, right? Like he could easily do something like that. I'm not worried about Brandon Cooks. So I'm definitely going to be mixing him in. And as far as scrolls go, if Metcalf plays, I think he's worthy of a little bit of a scroll. I like Jacoby Myers or Parker Washington if you want a deep scroll as well. Like a very low own scroll. I kind of like them. Darnell Mooney, as was alluded to earlier, is fine. I don't like it, but Jerry Jeudy might be okay. If the weather's bad, I'm out. before I heard about the weather, I was slightly interested. If you're really sick, you could like if you're doing massive volume, I would probably throw in a DK share or two. John Mechie's looked really good over the last couple weeks, 12 and 15 fantasy points. Is Tyrod starting again? I'm assuming Tyrod starts again. So if he does start again, I think that's an interesting one. I'm gonna have a hard time with Brian Thomas Jr. no matter what. I think I like Jacoby Myers over Brian Thomas and Parker Washington myself. He's only been there 3 weeks, and the first week he put up 8.9, and the second week he put up 13 points. He's looked pretty solid. I think that, and he kind of plays the more like a tight end than a wide receiver a lot of the time, and we all know that Trevor Lawrence really likes tight ends. All the performance he had last week with Brenton Strange, but I will mix in Justin Jefferson down in this area. If Justin Jefferson is undrafted in a draft, I will consider him. And if Brosmer plays, I'm actually interested in him. And if Brosmer plays, I do agree that Addison is worthy of a single a single shot here or there. But I will probably not go to the second or third option in Vegas. I think that they're very draftable, but I'm probably going to do 50 drafts. I don't think I'll get to them. If I was going to do 100 drafts, I would definitely get to Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen. I also haven't looked at the quarterback slate. If I actually really like Justin Herbert, I'll definitely mix them in. And I think all of these picks are defensible. Juwan Jennings defensible, I won't get there. Mechie defensible, I won't get there. Jerry Jeudy's defensible, but I won't get there. So basically down to Addison, I'm fine with. These are the players I'm probably interested in. Is Mooney, Myers, Metcalf, Pittman, Shakir. There's not a whole lot of receivers I'm super interested in. I don't ever go heavy into BR. I like actual BR. Yeah, it is the wrong screen. Thank you, sir. But I did 36 drafts last week. A couple weeks ago, I did 100. But I don't do actual BR. I do Wildcat and stuff like that. I don't like the BR. To me is too top heavy. I like the flatter payout structures myself. I know a lot of people don't. That's how I'm wired. I would rather do those. I will have 0 Cooper Kupp. I'll have 0 Juwan Jennings. I've been on Juwan Jennings the last 2 weeks. I'll be out. QJ and Keenan, as a standalone, I'm out. They do have a 25% or 25-point team total though. But this gets me to Michael Pittman 12. 16 different wide receivers to draft. I'm probably gonna do about 50 to 55 drafts throughout the weekend. So if I have the pool of these 16, and if it's a definite thing that Brian Thomas is going, and I will probably mix in some Brian Thomas team, maybe, I don't know. He's not looked healthy or right all year when he's played, in my opinion. So, but that's where I'm at with wide receiver. Any other deep scrolls or any thoughts on that with the chat of where I could be wrong, where I may not be wrong? I don't know if he'll so it all depends. What are they going to do at quarterback, right? if they don't do, hold on. If they don't end up doing, like getting a veteran, and it's Max Brosmer and JJ McCarthy, we might see him in the 3-4 turn, right? Like, would you take him there? Would you take next year if JJ McCarthy is the quarterback? Are you taking Jalen Waddle or Jefferson? Right? Like Jalen Waddle or Justin Jefferson, right? What about, and I think it's pretty easy, Waddle, right? Like, are you taking Justin Jefferson or I don't know where the line is. Jefferson and hoping McCarthy gets hurt. There you go. I mean, yeah, like I think they trade for somebody is what I think happens. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing to think about. What way they end up going. That's what I want. I want Jameis Winston there for sure. All right. We're going to go on to tight ends. People spam Bowers in a worse situation. Yeah, they did. People didn't believe it was a worse situation. The thing about the Jefferson, if McCarthy's their quarterback next year, we've already seen that exact situation play out negatively. There was actual hope with Geno Smith being an improvement to what they had before and with Chip Kelly's offense. Like, there was reason to believe that it could be a positive thing in the Bauer situation. If we run this back, if they ran it back fully as is, there's no hope, right? There's absolutely no hope. So with the no hope, you move that all the way from like a set, like I think he goes mid third, late third, right? Like is what I think would happen if they just ran it back. I don't see a world in which they would ever run it back. But all right, actually on to tight ends now. Trey McBride been tight end one for a while. Their implied point total is 20.5. We got Bowers at 2, implied only 15.5. Kittle against Cleveland, they're implied 20.5. Tyler Warren, 24.5. Gadsden, 25 points. Britton Strange, 24 points. Juwan Johnson, on 18.5. Like, so looking at this, like Bowers at 12.9 doesn't feel right. They didn't really use him last week. I wonder if that's why Chip Kelly got fired, though. I wonder if they're going to absolutely spam the hell out of Brock Bowers this upcoming week. I don't know. Yeah, he absolutely, yeah, like, and I was on that. Like, I was like, it can't be that much worse with Geno Smith. Like, it doesn't have to be that much better, but it can't really be worse. But it ended up being worse somehow. So I've faded Bowers the last couple times he's been on the slate. I think I want to get an okay amount of Bowers this week. It feels like the classic game of the OC leaves and the team uses their best player over and over and over and over again. I could see Bowers and Genty both having big games this week, for sure. Do I want to, like, I'm not going to take an overweight stance on it, but I definitely want my scrolls. I want to be at weight Trey McBride because it's Trey McBride. Brock Bowers, I want to be like 12 to 15% on. Kittle, I think same thing. Tyler Warren, same thing. I think I want to live in the scroll down range this week. Number one, I want Dalton Kincaid. If Dalton Kincaid's playing, I want a lot of Dalton Kincaid. Number two, Brenton Strange is an absolute smash to me. Gadsden is probably an absolute smash as well. Juwan Johnson has an awesome matchup. I believe. Let's double check that. I think he has an awesome matchup. Yeah, he's got the third best matchup against tight ends. I'm definitely going to end up underweight on George Kittle and Tyler Warren, and I'm going to end up with probably about the same amount of exposure to Strange, Juwan Johnson, and if Dalton Kincaid plays, Dalton Kincaid. If Davis Mills plays, I'll be in. I probably won't be into Dalton Schultz. I'll mix him in here and there. I don't think Cade Otton is draftable ever because Tampa Bay still does not have a touchdown to a tight end. Unless we count the touchdown pass that Baker threw to Cade Otton, that he fumbled the ball into the defender's hands and the defender ran it back. If that counts as a tight end touchdown, Tampa Bay now has one. But I don't think that's how stats work. So Tampa Bay still doesn't have a tight end touchdown. But I really, really like these three names. And I'm going to assume that McBride, Bowers, Kittle, Warren go almost every draft. Right? Just on namesake. Which means Gadsden's next and Strange is going to be in the auto pick range. And Juwan Johnson's right after that. But I really, really like these guys. I think going much deeper than Harold Fannin is probably bad though. So I think you can draft all of the players down to Harold Fannin. After Fannin, I don't think I'll be mixing in Darnell Washington, Davis Allen, Cade Otton, Chig. Here's a name. You could mix in Taysom Hill. That's the deepest name you mix in. They used him a lot last week. It wasn't successful, but as we just seen, they're the third worst against tight ends. I think Taysom Hill, if he stays at a pretty undrafted range, we take Taysom Hill. I want five. If his ADP at the end of this is 35.4, which is what 13% drafted or something, I want my portfolio to be what 5 to 8% to be basically overweight to the field, right? It wouldn't be that much. It'd be much less. 35.9 was 0.03%. I don't know what the calculations are, but I'm definitely going to take, if I do 50 teams, I'm going to have 4 Taysom Hill teams. I think he's very worth mixing in. I think he's very good leverage. And on a week like this, where I was saying I expect a few more teams to be auto-drafted and due to people doing things during being at a family get-together, they don't want to pay attention, so they pull their phone out, and then they get yelled at about something. They put their phone down, and they auto-pick 3 picks, right? In those drafts, Gadsden and Brenton Strange are always going to be picked, right? I think that Down to Warren will always be picked, and you'll see a lot more just auto picks with the last guys. I think there'll be a lot of leverage this week, and it still has to hit. But I think the scrolls at whatever position you scroll at, and it kind of feels like it could be a tight end scroll week like it was last week. Trey could easily get there versus Tampa. But if Trey doesn't get there versus Tampa, it's pretty easy to see Bowers failing again. George Kittle just not getting involved in a really ugly game weather-wise in Cleveland. Tyler Warren versus an awesome defense not getting there. Uh, and then we've seen Gadsden not do great once or twice. He's got like they did just have a bye, so he should be fully healthy, but he wasn't fully healthy before that. And Brenton Strange, like Trevor Lawrence, is how that goes wrong. So it's pretty easy to see that like a 14-point game from Kyle Pitts is what you need, right? That scores 2 more points than Trey McBride, right? I'll take 10 carries too. Yeah, exactly. To me, Taysom Hill is easily a draftable person. I'm going to be involved in the Taysom Hill sweepstakes. I don't want to take very much early because he should be available always. And I don't want to give him a bit of an ADP. I want to take him a lot more like Saturday night, Sunday morning. Is what I want to do because I'll be able to get my other teams before then and then build out specific teams with Taysom Hill. Like if there's something I really like by then, like if I want to do a Rams double stack or something, which I don't think I'm going to do, but if there's an ADP lineup that I really like and I have a combination of that already with like I've mixed in Dalton Kincaid with that, like a Josh Allen team. Let's say it's a Josh Allen team, and I mix in Dalton Kincaid, and I have the two running, like I have the running back, I have Josh Allen, I have the like Waddle plus Nico or whatever in the middle, and the same running back. Like running that same exact lineup back with Taysom Hill, like I will totally probably do that. Achane, Waddle, Mini could absolutely hit 70 points and be complete. Yes, yeah, it absolutely could. Oh, Achane plus Taysom. Yeah. I mean, Achane, Waddle as well, right? Like, I mean, you could build out a big game stack. Like, I know the spread's 5.5, over under 42. But can't you see New Orleans go into Miami and Miami's defense just not being as good as they have been recently in this one game? And both teams putting up 30-ish points and it being an absolute shootout to where you need Waddle and Achane because that's their whole offense. And then Taysom Hill has one of those random 23-point weeks, right? Like that right there, like Achane could easily get 30, Waddle 22, Taysom Hill 20, right? That could absolutely happen. And yeah, I definitely want to be in on Taysom Hill. That's going to be my scroll of the week. I'm sure when Davis Maddock gets to the content, that's what he's going to say as well. This week, it absolutely sets up. And with that being said, I'm going to mix in Juwan Johnson as well. I might even do like an elite team like that to where I have one with Juwan Johnson and then I have another one with Taysom Hill, right? Like I think that would absolutely make sense. Like if you're about to dupe yourself with the Juwan Johnson team, just scroll down and take Taysom Hill instead. I wouldn't do it. Like I wouldn't make that a point to like. I think having a team like that would be like make a lot of sense. Like you get Achane, in the next round you get one of the Rams receivers. It comes back around, you get Waddle, and then you have one of those other RBs still available, like Genty. Like you could use the same Bowers thought that I had to where they're gonna use their studs a little more because Chip Kelly's gone and they're just kind of trying to figure things out. You can use that same argument to go to Genty instead, right? So I think I would definitely do. I don't want to have like 4 or 5 teams like that, but I think having like out of 50, having 2 Tua, Achane, Waddle, Taysom Hill's teams, and like I think that makes a lot of sense. And we've seen before Tua actually get there in these slates, right? But when Tua gets there, it's generally in a way that everybody like he has to lift more than one player. And speaking of that, we're going to go ahead and go to quarterbacks. Josh Allen, pretty easy, 101. Fantasy points, we're going to switch on over to quarterback. Dallas is the worst. Pittsburgh is the 7th worst, but it is still Josh Allen. So the worst, I'll read them off, top 10 best matchups for fantasy points on quarterbacks. Cowboys, Giants, Bengals, Jags, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Commanders, Steelers, Bears, Lions, and Dolphins. So Lions, Bears, Bengals, Cowboys. So 4 of the worst 10 defenses against quarterbacks play tomorrow, right? I guess one of them plays Friday. So and the Steelers going against the best quarterback on the slate, pretty much by far, has one of those top 10 matchups. So I think it's pretty unquestioned that he should be the 101. With Jags being so bad, I'm not going to get to Ward, but I do think DK is... Ward had 23 points last week, right? But it's by far his best game. I think you can play the Jags. Like, if you want to play Titans, I think it's just DK. I don't think you bring along Ward. That's my personal take. But I also haven't got to the quarterbacks yet, so we will find out. Josh Allen for sure. Herbert is the quarterback 2 on this slate against the Raiders. Let's look. Raiders, 16th best or 16th worst. The Panthers, as we looked at earlier, is actually decent. We got the Bucks, I believe, are pretty bad. Yeah, so Jacoby Brissett has an awesome matchup, assuming that he is full go. Yeah, he's full go. The Vikings are 24th best versus the versus quarterbacks. And then, like, Cleveland is ugly. Like, there's some names down here I want nothing to do with. Shedeur is one of those. So here's my thought on Shedeur. Do I think he's worthy of a scroll in a week where the weather's good? Maybe. Do I think... Okay. Yeah, I'm not doing a very good job today. Sorry, Pepperoni. But do I think that there's... So number one, they're only projected for 16 points. Number two, he looked okay in his first start. And Shedeur has a ton of fans out there. So it's almost guaranteed that Shedeur Sanders is going to be overrepresented to what his projection is going to be this week. So even if you like him, if you want to play him, that's great. Go ahead, right? Like, but the weather's going to be bad, and everybody who's been clamoring for Shedeur this whole time is going to make sure to get some teams in on him and disregard the projections, right? Completely. So I think that this is not the week to do it, but next week, everybody, like, because last week, some people did it, but he didn't get there, but he looked okay. And the Niners don't have a good defense. So people will jam him this week that love him, right? That's my feel. I don't know for sure. Like, I can't prove that that's going to be a thing, but that's what I view happening. Like he's going ahead of Stroud, Cousins, Tua. Like, I don't think he should be ahead of Tua for sure. some of the other names, like I don't really have a problem with, right? Like we don't know about Rodgers if he's going to be healthy. Like he definitely shouldn't be ahead of Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones gets Houston. I just think that like let's look at the top guys. So one, like the Brock Purdy feels fine, bad, but these top five feel pretty solid as plays. Baker's questionable to play. Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, and then Shadur's down here. Like, I mean, maybe he is clickable, but like, I do think that he's going to be overrepresented due to people that really like him want to play him this week because he looked well enough last week, right? So I'm personally going to fade it full because I just assume he'll be overrepresented. Maybe that's a bad way to play it, but that's how I'm going to play it. But I'm also going to fade Brock Purdy completely in this game. So I'm kind of going to be out on that game as a whole, I think, with the passing game. I think these are the only quarterbacks I'm interested in. If Baker plays, you could say Baker as well. The Kirk Cousins mini stack, like I could see myself getting to that. I won't have any Geno Smith. I think I would rather have Cam Ward than Geno, right? Like, maybe the Cam Ward thing isn't as crazy. After last, like, there's no way I'm going to take Bryce Young. But Tyler Shuck, like, I would take him as well over, but I'm not going to get there. Like, Josh Allen, like, I think Josh Allen is a priority this week, is where I'm standing. Like, looking at this, I might just move Josh Allen up to like the fourth pick and just try to get like 30% Josh Allen. I think I'm going to make a stand this week on Josh Allen. Like, look at the rest of these guys. Like, Stafford going across country. I mean, he could absolutely be the guy, right? But it's the cross-country narrative. Yes, they're missing two guys, but that's a narrative that I don't love leaning into. I will be around the field on him. Jacoby Brissett has an awesome matchup, but he's been pushed every week because they've been so far behind. But he's got 260, 279, 260, 250. Like, literally the worst game he's had is last week, and that was 18 points. He's definitely draftable. Like, I think he should get drafted almost every draft. And there's two targets that'll be drafted. Oh, somebody we didn't mention, and we didn't mention Marvin Harrison. If Marvin Harrison plays, he's draftable, by the way. He's got the Q tag right now, and he did return to practice limited. I don't want a lot of him, but out of my 50 drafts, I will take one or two shares of him. Just so we're clear there. But looking at this slate, I want Josh Allen. I want a lot of Josh Allen. And I kind of want to push quarterback up, I think. And I like I will probably be overweight too. Like, I will probably have it more like this. Definitely Josh Allen 1. I'm probably fine with the way that goes. I kind of want to take Trevor Lawrence over Darnold. I think I like it like this. I think it's Josh Allen, Herbert, Stafford, Brissett, Darnold, T-Law, Tua, Daniel Jones, Mayfield if he plays, and then if you want to do a last round Cousins Mooney stack on a Breece Hall team, go ahead, right? I think that's perfectly fine. So those are the only quarterbacks I'm going to be drafting. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that I mean, I guess I'll mix in Brock Purdy if I happen to take Kittle. I don't see myself getting to a lot of Kittle, though. And when I do get to Kittle, I will probably try to stack the other options instead of Purdy. I won't have 0 Brock Purdy, but I'm definitely going to be at like 4 or 5%. I think you move him up to there. So this is kind of where I'm at. Now, time to like actually make overall ranks. Gonna do, what time is it? It's hour and 20 minutes and 40 seconds. And I'm just gonna loosely make some ranks here. But I think JT goes 1, Achan 2, probably JSN, CMC, Bijan. Like, and to me, I basically want like 10 to 12% CMC, slightly fade him, and get like 18 to 20% of all the other players. Like, I'm not gonna draft exactly by this. I just want slightly less than the field to CMC and slightly more of the field to the other 4 options. As soon as those guys are gone, it's Josh Allen for me. It's no question. It's Josh Allen. Like, for sure, is next. And I will probably, if I get a bunch of 101s, I will probably do the whole move Josh Allen to 101 once or twice to get different pairings. Like, if I end up with a bunch of them and I don't have enough Josh Allen, I will have no problem moving Josh Allen to the 2 spot to get unique pairings and to get more Josh Allen. I think that he is a very, very good pick this week. And then I think it's Trey McBride. I think he's quite a bit ahead again. And then Puka, James Cook, Adams. I kind of like I think it's just all 3, like you just try to get a Ram there, right? Just whichever Ram's available, you take. Then I kind of like Nico over the rest of the guys. Waddle probably after that. Then probably ETN. Like I really do like ETN. And then, like, I think you put those 2 together, Olave. I have Josh Allen so far ahead. Yeah, like I think that there's a, like, I think you could honestly argue Josh Allen 101 this week. I really do. Like, looking at this quarterback slate, like, there's an argument to just put him at 101. I just don't want 75% Josh Allen. I do think I'm going to move him all the way through the board, though, and try to get all the different pairings, right? Like, if I move him up, just take the ADP. Like, just take whatever ADP is there every time, because you're instantly going to be different. And welcome, Coolers. So, the Josh Allen, like, basically after the 3 Rams, like, I think after McBride, there's like a tier, and it's just James Cook and the 3 Rams, and then there's just a gigantic tier. Because I feel like one of those Rams is going to absolutely smash. Sorry, best ball on call. But one of those 3 is going to just absolutely cook. Which is funny that I say that, because Cook is the one in between all of them. But then there's just a giant blob of Nico, Waddle, ETN, who I think you could just argue to move him all the way up here, because he's the last guy that I feel like is a must-have guy. And then all of the receivers, you're going to see some of these receivers. Like, I do think that's right. I think you move ETN all the way up, because all of these wide receivers, like, how do they separate that much, right? The rest of these players. So now you're mixing in like a Bowers here. I do like Igbuka. I'll probably have Igbuka ahead of Bowers. Like Bowers, I think will fall a little. Yeah, and then Michael Wilson, and then after that, like after these guys, like basically after Bowers, I think you could start scrolling. I think after this, like scrolling is very, very, very alive here. Like who would you argue let's start at running back. So Jaylen Warren, like if we knew he was getting the whole backfield, he would be ahead of James Cook. But he's not. Like you could argue, like, is there anybody between Jaylen Warren, Bucky Unlimited, Brees Hall, Genty, Judkins, Dowdle, Kenneth Walker that you think should go every single draft? Hey, thanks, Christopher Kennedy. Welcome to the channel. So, are you not familiar with drafts on Underdog Fantasy? This is I don't know how, like, if it's you're not interested, like, don't know about just drafts in general on Underdog or NFL in general or what it is, but they have a weekly slate on this website. You're drafting teams. I'll draft one here in just a minute. Actually, if you're new to the channel, I will go see if I can get in one real quick and try to show you what it's like and kind of implement what we have. I'm in a lobby if anybody wants to do a Wildcat. You just got here. You don't know about American football at all. Just got recommended this on your YouTube and the homepage. Hey, well, I appreciate it, sir. I assume that you're from overseas then. I say overseas because I live in America. But yeah, thanks for the channel. Thanks for the props. Hope you, I mean, if you are interested in it, I mean, it's mostly sports gambling is what it is. That's what we do here. We finally we had some luck last week. This guy in the chat here had a lot of luck. I had a little luck. The community is pretty sweet. Okay, so in the UK, have you did you ever end up going or think about going to the London games? Because I know they did a bunch of the London games this past year. But yeah, like the American football is starting to take off in the like overseas and stuff. So I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you saying hi. Thank you. Hope you stick around. Like, not like if you're not watching football, you probably don't have a reason to stick around, but we appreciate it. Not really, but would be cool. A bunch of UK students really like football. NFL. Yeah. I mean, I obviously I have a problem, and it is the NFL. It is a problem, but I manage it. I manage it very well. I have fun with it. The community here is great. Everybody's super helpful. If you want to know more about football, I do all like I've started doing a bunch of content. We do recap shows, stuff like that. So you can look through it. I'm actually going live on a network called Fanspeak Network later tonight as well. I'm sure it'll be like it's what, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock your time, something like that right now. So it'd be like 3 a.m. your time. Oh, thanks. Very nice. Very nice. Beers are the best. Like once you have one, no going back. All right. So back to this. We got I just think that once you get to this area, scrolls are very, very live. And yes, I'm considering Justin Jefferson a not drafted every time guy. So Michael Wilson and Jefferson are people you could argue there. But at running back, like the hobbled Bucky, Jalen Warren, Brees Hall, like I could see an argument on Brees Hall or Judkins, but the community doesn't agree. If you want to set your rankings to make sure Judkins is drafted every time, like I don't have a problem with that. I think that Judkins is going to be a good pick in this. I just don't know if, like, I don't want to make that stand this week specifically. I think that, like, I will probably end up with a bunch of them if I end up with a bunch of Josh Allen. I do think that Josh Allen over the other quarterbacks is going to project better than like CMC plus Herbert, like CMC plus let's just say CMC plus Jacoby Brissett is going to project worse than Josh Allen plus Travis Etienne, right? Like I'm going to guess that Allen Etienne is going to project better, and to me, that's where I want to be. I want to be at the point that I believe that I should have a better projection for sure. And like Cooler said, he has 5-point projection over everybody else. Underdog has 3.9 points between him and Herbert, and then 5.5 versus Stafford Brissett, and then 7.5 from Darnold. So, and the next highest projection is Baker. And this is underdog projections. They don't mean a lot, but like just looking at that at a glance, it's a gigantic difference. And you look over here. I mean, I guess the top three project way like I guess it's about the same. So maybe I'm wrong, but that is how I'm going to end up playing it. I'm going to play it to where I want a lot of Josh Allen. Anyways, derailed your stream. Hey, no, you're all good, man. Everybody here is pretty chill. It's a very small community. Yeah, your very rough projection like 24 for Allen, 19 for Herbert, 19 for Stafford. That's exactly what they have. So, I mean that makes sense. I don't know how to do projections, but it makes sense that that's where we would be. But anyway, I'm going to go back to this, see if we can get in a Wildcat. They have not been feeling very well, but we might do one and then call it. So what time is it? Hour and 33 minutes in. And let's see what we get. We get the 101. We're going to go ahead and take Jonathan Taylor here. Stick true to what we were talking about. I like the pulling Josh Allen up to the 101 thing. That is more of a, if I get stuck at the top of the board, I like, this is not a week I feel like Josh Allen is the guy. Oh no, I do. Like, I really do. I just don't want zero Jonathan Taylor. No, I really do. I actually, if it was like a all-star league where you just pick a guy, or it's DFS and you get the salary involved, I'm going to have way more. Like, actually, after this, we can look at the, if you guys want, we can look at the salary lineup over on DK. I haven't looked at it yet. I reserved all of my Sunday slate stuff. Yeah, but like upcoming. There we go. So over on DK, like Taylor is 9,800, McCaffrey is 9,300, and Achan's 8,300. I will have like maybe one share of like of my 20, I will probably have like 10 shares of Achan. Like price wise, I just think he's the guy, right? I definitely want a lot of Achan if that's going to be like if you get him 1,000 cheaper, and he's 200 cheaper than Bijan as well. Like, I'm gonna fully get into that. What do you think about JJ McCarthy being a huge bust? I drafted him in a fair amount because Thor Nystrom was saying he's Elway. I was in the camp that what's his name? Kevin O'Connell. Like Kevin O'Connell wouldn't have let him walk unless he knew that JJ McCarthy was good enough to at least support him somewhat. And I was wrong. Like he obviously didn't know that, and he was just hoping, right? Like, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna pull ETN all the way up here, and we're gonna go ahead and do the bring back with Houston, which is where I had my rank anyway. So now the ranks are pretty loose here. Like you're just trying to this is my second team. Like we're just trying to build a portfolio of people. I've heard of Thor. He was so aggressive. Yeah, he was very aggressive. I gave him credit because he is very smart with college analytics, and it sucks. He's having the second worst quarterback season ever. Yeah, no, he's been very, very bad, and it's all in his footwork. He's so bad at his footwork right now. It's not good. It's not going to get fixed this season. It's something that he needs to get a quarterback coach and work all offseason to get it fixed. And Kevin O'Connell's smart. He knows that, it sucks for Justin Jefferson. It sucks for Jordan Addison. It sucks for TJ Hawkinson. It sucks for all of us who took him. But it's done. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. I have a lot of money involved in Justin Jefferson teams, so it sucks. But I wasn't like a huge what's up, Fancy Dog? How we doing? I wasn't a huge JJ McCarthy bull by any means coming out of college. Like I had him as the 5th best quarterback in the class, only ahead of Penix last year, and which is where he was drafted, right? Or no, he was drafted. Was he drafted ahead of Bo? But I can't. No, he was drafted before Bo Nix. And I was Bo Nix 101, which it was not correct, but that's where I was. I was one of the only people that said that. I didn't stream last year, so you can't check that. But that is where I was. I was definitely there. And there would be zero reason for me to lie about that because it wasn't a good stance. So down here, this is where I think Bowers should go. This feels fine. Take Brock Bowers down here. We're gonna what? Take what wide receiver do we want with Bowers or with this? Kind of talked about doing that earlier, like a naked him, but I don't think I want to go there. Yeah, this is a very, very ugly wide receiver slate. Yeah, we're just going to take Shakir. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to go with a naked quarterback here. If we're going to do a naked quarterback, it can't be Tua. This isn't like a Tua naked team. Not a Josh. It's not a team there. it's going to be hard to get naked JS in there as well. Like, I think I just take T Law and bet on that offense, or not. I guess we do that. I'll get to chat here in just a second, sir. I'm going to focus on this for a second. I think I just take CJ Stroud and yeah, I'll just take Stroud, actually. All right, so I think we all just figured any quarterback could. Yes, yeah, no, that was where I was at. It was never a talent evaluation of JJ McCarthy for me. It was Kevin O'Connell's done it with everybody. I mean, the man fixed Sam Darnold, right? He fixed Sam Darnold. He's a magician. So, considering that he's a magician, how bad would JJ McCarthy have to be for him not to be able to have the magic put into it, right? Apparently 9 is that bad. So tricks on all of us. So Schuster, I drafted 65% Sam Howell, hoping McCarthy was a bust. The Vikings traded him to the Eagles. Yeah, in the Superflex stuff, we're in the last round. I mean, he is a bust, so Geno being a bust isn't. Yeah, I didn't expected that. I thought that if Geno Smith failed, it would not be this hard. Like, I knew there was a chance that he failed. I just didn't think it would fail this bad. You see Ritter and AOC just smash it with Bowers and get pumped, and oh yeah, yep. He's like another one of those situations where it's like, how bad does this guy have to be to make it worse? And Geno Smith, whatever the answer was, Geno Smith found that bar and lowered it. He definitely did that. All right, so we ended up going to a CJ Stroud, gives us a late stack option, like a swap option if we want later to like a Daniel Jones or something. Well, we got the Jonathan Taylor with the Nico CJ bringback, Travis Etienne, Shakir, and Brock Bowers. I think it's fine. I don't think I'll be taking very much CJ Stroud at all. I probably won't be taking much Baker either. So if I don't get to very much of either one of them and I need to swap, like, I'm probably fine swapping straight to Davis Mills, or I could choose to swap to Geno Smith. I think I would go to Davis Mills, though. I think that would make more sense. So yeah, I wish they had Sam Howell too at this point. Yeah. Oh, and he might have fixed times as well. JJ McCarthy was a tough case. There's such little college tape to go on. I bet first round draft capital on QB by analytical front office, talented OC. Yes. Like if you use all of your logic stuff, it made sense. Like, but we didn't know, right? And you have like the incredible skill players is like, and the solid O-line on top of that. Like, they invested in that O-line and it got worse. You know, like Will Fries came in and he wasn't healthy. All that stuff. No one foresaw the Darisaw Jackson injuries or the concussions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like the one thing that's been consistent over the history of the NFL is that if you bring a rookie quarterback into a situation that has no offensive line, they very quickly lose confidence, right? So it may never happen. Like, it may just never happen, right? Like, it could be one of those things that all of these injuries, even if he was going to be good, has sabotaged his career. We don't know, right? You want to do a BR? I do like 2 BRs a week. So we're going to join a VR in 10 seconds. And I think that will be it for me. Unless people want to look through the DraftKings slate. Well, hopefully you're in. You are not in. So this is going to be the one. Hopefully I can get Josh Allen over here. Yeah, I basically don't. I might end up doing a lot of BRs if it's going to why can't I think of the word? You know what I mean. Yeah, I filled it. And one of the best BBM tactics has been finding the cheap pocket passer, quarterback that nukes, Tua, Burrow, Baker. Yeah, exactly. Like I had 14%, 13 or 14% Justin Jefferson. Only got to but I was a little bit afraid that JJ McCarthy wouldn't be it. So I only got to 8 to 9% JJ McCarthy. I just didn't think that if he failed, it would be to such a level that Addison and Jefferson would be completely not usable. Right? Like, I thought that if he failed, Jefferson and Addison would still have some usable weeks. But he's so bad that you're not even getting any of the usable weeks. That's why I was in on I have a bunch of Addison too. I have 12% Addison. I have 14% Jefferson. It's not good. It's not good. Overlay. That's the word. Thanks, Schuster. You should have known it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. Yeah. How did you not know? Come on, Flyfish. You should have known it was going to be Jacoby Brissett. I'm with Corey here. This is your fault. Your fault, Flyfish, for not knowing it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. And it's also your fault for not telling us it was going to be Jacoby Brissett. Yeah. You're right. So let's just take the two elite onesies here and see how the draft plays out. I won once. I've literally won once, and it was last week. And they still haven't given me my option to put my goat horns on. So mad I just missed JGMC college production. Yeah, how can we have ever known that the lack of production was going to be the thing, right? When else has a quarterback came in with very limited production in college and completely failed? When has that ever happened? Oh, you want a baseball? Very nice. I mean, winning any of these is hard. Well, so the scroll I made actually made my team worse when I won it. Because my top pick was actually Eugene Wilson, but I scrolled to correlate Tyrone Tracy. It didn't matter because the rest of my team smashed really hard, but I correlated Tyrone Tracy with Jahmyr Gibbs. So, and Tracy had a good week. He had 14.5 points. And if he would have got a touchdown, he would have been the ultimate leverage because he was 0.03% owned. Only 100. Do I have one? Let me look. I might have one. Because Brissett was one of them I mentioned was an okay scroll. I have I have 7 or 8%. Or no, I had 6 or 7% Marcus Mariota. I know that. I would love to get ET in here. Absolutely love to get ET in. I'm not going to be happy that I'm going to have two. So I'm not going to take Shakir in this. Yeah. So I love getting ET in there. I was really hoping I could get Waddle goes all the way over there. So I want ET in. And the correlation I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a mini game stack here, and then have a naked quarterback. Um, there are a lot of running backs. I know not everybody loved the running back scrolls, but I think the scrollier running backs are fine. All right, so let's look at that. So live best ball. I know it's not up, but exposures, quarterbacks. Scroll to the bottom. I have one Jameis Winston out of 177 Superflex. I took a Davis Mills team, just so you guys know. I distinctly remember that team because hold on a second. I remember that team because I thought the draft was going to get tossed out, and I'm like, why not take Davis Mills? Well, the draft wasn't tossed out, so so there is that. So I don't have a Brissett team. I know I mentioned it. So, yeah, I have 7.9% Marcus Mariota, which turned out to be pretty good. It hasn't helped a whole lot because all of my RBs got hurt, so it doesn't really matter. I drafted Gibbs over Bijan. Oh, would you have still advanced if you took Gibbs over Bijan though? Because Bijan had a really solid, like first advancing week, right? Really? That's all. That is awesome news. Like I like Frank Ragnow. I would love to see him get a Super Bowl. That is awesome. I think I don't know, but it couldn't have been a small number, right? All right, so we're gonna look at running back first. I like these two. Like, I think it's definitely Judkins. Actually, you know what? We're gonna take the Jalen. We're gonna take the chalk pairing here. Um, and we're gonna do a little scrolly here on the wide receiver. I think like I kind of like DK there, but I think it could be a Pittman week this week. Do I want that? I mean, I could just take the Shakir, the easy pick, but I don't really want to do that. I think Mechie's a fine pick as well. Yeah, I think I'll just take Pittman here and be fine. So the team, we have Josh Allen, Trey McBride, ETN, a mini game sack there, or mini game sack between McBride and Igbuka, a mini game sack between Josh Allen and Jalen Warren. No quarterback correlation, and we have Michael Pittman there. This team might be like a little more unique because most people will probably take Shakir here. And considering you don't need to stack Josh Allen, I do think that Pittman, Josh Allen will be way less owned than Josh Allen, Shakir. So there is that. So anyway, I think I'm going to head out. I've been live for about 2 hours now. I'll be back at 8:30 Central. I believe it's 8:30 Central over on Fanspeak. Yeah, it is 8:30 Central on Fanspeak Network. Let me triple check that. I don't know where it is in there. Like, I'm pretty sure it's 8:30 Central. I know that I'll be live with them when it happens. So in 2.5 hours, I will be live, Fanspeak. We are going to be doing some of the turkey stuff. I did some content on that the other day. I look forward to doing it, and like I have like there. I like Mitchell Tinsley. Like, call me crazy. The play that I kind of like in the Thanksgiving stuff is Mitchell Tinsley. I liked him. Like, he looked good in preseason, and he's not had a chance all season. T. Higgin, very concussed, very concussed. The Joe Burrow being back, he spreads the ball out. Yoshi Voss, like, he always fails to like do elite things. Tinsley is very good at like actually getting his feet down. I think it's a low chance to hit, but I do think that it's a higher chance to hit than the percent he's being drafted at. So if you're doing Thanksgiving stuff and you want a deep sleeper, that's the guy I like. I'll talk to everybody later. See y'all tonight. Join the Discord if you want to continue to chat. Peace, everybody.